So one of the bane of the administration is that ASU is threatening to go on strike in 2 weeks as regards withheld salaries.
The ASU. I don't know. When I was the student union president of Ogun State Polytechnic, 98, 99, I was to be president for maybe one academic session. It lingered till 2000. Because of what? Crisis today, crisis tomorrow. Bordering on the welfare of the lecturers, ASUP then, funding, subvention not released and all that. And we are still in that situation. That's appalling, as far as I'm concerned. And I feel for ASU, but I also hope that Tinubu-led administration, will tackle that brilliantly. That's my expectation. I am hoping that it will not allow that to commence in the first place. 2 weeks' time, there is enough time to sit down with the ASU, the leadership, and say, how do we go about it? Funding is key. They are saying there must be autonomy so that the schools can run on its own, flexibly and creatively too. I think that must be seeded. That must be seeded. No matter what, at the table of negotiation, that compromise must come. Okay, but how do you get that? Grants and what again? Necessary research. It's not a favor to allow the lecturers, to go on research, sabbatical, acquire more knowledge, skills, then bring it back and then build. So I will appeal that Tinubu-led government sees into, the question of ASU and ensure that we do not go back to ASU strike. I said it earlier. We were in this country. Right. ASU was on strike for 8 months.
Yeah. Quickly because of our time. Now, the governor of Katsina State, that's Governor Rada, has said recently that Nigeria's insecurity is pushing education to the brink. As much as we have this matter of putting in, making funds available to students, and also looking at the matter of employability and all of it, this matter of security, because we've seen, especially in Katsina State, how students were, attacked in their schools, some kidnapped, and some other states, we have seen that. In fact, in the last administration in Kaduna State, at some point they had to shut down schools to address the matter of insecurity. How do we address that?
Yes, addressing insecurity is very simple. It will mean addressing destruction. I have read in the Daily today, and I am happy about that. Tinubu has dragged the 36 states of the Federation to Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, yes.
That you should grant autonomy. When you grant autonomy to the local government, you are granting security. We must devolve security and ensure it goes to the lowest ebb of the system, of the community.
Absolutely.
Community policing. And that was why I said, why will IG tell us we are not ripe for state policing? No, that's unstatesmanly. It's unstatesmanly. The reality is that security is key. You can't be talking education. The governor is absolutely correct. But how do we do it? You take power to the local government. In abroad, advanced country, you have sheriff, you have counties. We must have local government police. We must have vigilante. The traditional institution must be involved. Intelligence is important. How can they come to a school, pack away 500 students, and you say there is government? That's governmental convulsion. That's governmental absence. It must be addressed. To address is simple. And that's what Ashwadi Tinubu is doing. Upon that, I'll give him a resounding applause for his first year in office. To have taken the bold step to take the state governors to court. Even though some of them were the architects when they started with about this joint account issue. They started it, but they are saying now that the quagmire, the yes, must be removed from the local government. Let the local government be free, so that you have good hands, competent hands, even governing at the grassroots level, which is very important. Today, it is appalling that when you look at the grassroots governance, there is no creativity. You know, like the wretched of the head take charge at that level, which should not be. The best of us, the best of our hands, must be in charge of the government that is closest to the people. And how do we do it? Give them autonomy. There will be security.
Can the local government handle education?
Yes, the primary schools
are they buoyant enough?
It still goes back to this matter of autonomy.
When you give them autonomy, they become buoyant. They get their grant directly. You don't prioritize for them. They take their money and do what is necessary in line with the needs of the people. Because you have direct access to your funds. It's a great privilege and honor so that you begin to address your needs without necessarily having recourse, to Mr. Governor or Mr. President.
Be plowed back to the people. Won't education still be expensive if local governments have to handle primary schools and other sundry activities within their local governments?
Education becomes expensive or what?
Within the local government, yes.
It will not. You see, education is important. There must be matching order. The elementary education, which is fundamental human rights, every child must have it. How do you ensure that local government must have the funds to, bring that on board and ensure that every household, every home, the children must be brought out? It's a compulsory thing to give them education because those are the minds you want to rule and govern over in the long run.